And we are live. The countdown to kickoff is on. I am Gabriel Morency. Welcome to the closing line. SBR, let's do this thing, guys. We've got a lot of breaking news. If you just got out of the drunk tank, if you got arrested last night, or you're all hungover and you just woke up and you're like, man, I'm going to hammer the Jacksonville Jaguars today. And evidently a lot of people were hammering the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I don't know if Leonard Fournette got hammered last night, but he violated some team rule. And, this isn't college or high school, guys. They don't like sitting down their best players. So for the record, Leonard Fournette is inactive. He violated team rules. It's a fluid situation right now. No one really knows exactly what happened. But what we do know is Leonard Fournette's not playing. That much is official. Zach Ertz, tight end extraordinaire with the Philadelphia Eagles. I've got some numbers for you Eagle fans, specifically Donnie and Big Man. They're going to like as far as making the playoffs and how they'll do in the playoffs, considering their record right now at 7-1. But we've got a lot of line movement. We've got weather updates, injury updates, best bets, props, and everything else in between with one of the best in the business, Donnie RightSide. Donnie RightSide steps up right there. What's going on, Donnie?
Hey, Gabe, another week, another, fantastic line movements all out there, interesting information. And one thing I always wonder, Gabe, is, all this, you see all the week, Jacksonville sharp money. Now, hey, their best players out. They still could win this football game and cover. We see it time and time again. But how they keep this type of information under wraps when you see some of the stuff leaking out now, missing the team photo, missing a meeting here. Like, it can't be that much a surprise where Jacksonville just said as soon as Leonard Fournette showed up at 11 a.m. at the ballpark today and said, you're going to be suspended. This had to be in the works. Sometimes it's amazing how they can still keep this type of information, Gabe, under wraps.
It really is. And clearly Doug Marrone wants to send a message that nobody is above the team, including Leonard Fournette, whatever this violation is. But as you said, Donnie, this isn't high school. We're not talking Pop Warner here. He must have really had to upset Doug Marrone for Doug Marrone not to play him in a football game as important as this one is today.
No, you're 100% right on that. It's kind of interesting because we all know, a lot of times they'll keep some things in-house. This had to have been boiling over, Gabe. It had to have been a week-to-week occurrence because, again, you're in the mix of it now. Like, this is just, if Jackson wants to send a message at like 1-7 or whatever, I hear you there. But now you're right in the mix of it. You get that big injury information coming out of Texas, with the Texans, with their quarterback going down. Now this is almost your division to take, and you're sending a message right now, which is, I applaud the effort, but, this is the NFL, man. Wins are hard to get, and I don't agree with the move.
It seems like this whole inmates running the prison thing is becoming into a reality. What have we seen? We see the Buffalo Bills trade Marcel Darius, just tired of your bullshit type of deal. We don't care. You're done. You're talented, but we're tired of you. Jay Ajayi, we're tired of your crap. Kelvin Benjamin, we're tired of your crap. You go down the list. It seems like it's the new in thing with coaches to try to reaffirm their authority in the last week or two, Donnie.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, putting your thumb down and, keeping your players under wrap, and the team is more important than the player. We always like to harken back to the Jimmy Johnson days down in Dallas saying, hey, if Emmitt Smith was asleep, I would kindly wake him up and tell him to please pay attention. But if the fourth string running back does that, I will cut him and make an example out of him. Completely different philosophy these days, Gabe.
That's funny, Jimmy Johnson. I'll politely wake him up. I like coaches that admit it and just say, yes, I treat stars differently. Yes, that's because you have to. Okay, Donnie, so I got to be honest with you. And people always tell me, Morency, you're crazy. You always like the Bengals. I don't always like the Bengals. I didn't tell people to lay the 10 last week. I thought the Bengals looked good on a teaser last week, but I like the Bengals already coming into this football game. I question Jacksonville being a 4.5-point favorite, a 5-point favorite, a 5.5-point favorite. And Donnie, this line went up to as high as 6.5. Earlier this morning, and I was in my glee. I'm like, great, perfect. Now I can get this at an even 7, and I like the Bengals in this spot. The Bengals defensively match up extremely well with the Jacksonville Jaguars offensively. I don't see how the Jags were going to pull away and win by this margin. The only X factor is we have Andy Dalton, yet Andy Dalton actually turns the ball over less than Blake Bortles does. And, I thought this was an evenly matched football game. You got a 5-3 football team that's 1-2 on its home field. Cincinnati is a very good road team, actually. Cincinnati's been good on the road this year. Jacksonville's been bad at home. Jacksonville's shown an inability to string together wins and to win football games at home, and he wanted them to win by 6.5 points. And now Leonard Fournette's out, and I really thought the number would really drop, Donnie. I thought I was getting great value when I started clicking away. I'm seeing the numbers pop up right now. The win in Vegas just posted a 6. People are still betting on the Jags right now. I don't get it. I'm on the Bengals plus the points. I'm on the Bengals on the money line, Donnie.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree with you there, Gabe. I'm showing right now lines are bouncing all over the place. Sportsbook.com -5.5. Chris was at a 6 momentarily, but now dips back to a -4.5, -115. I mean, say what you want. It's a good running back. It's a situation, but also you're right about this, Gabe. We always laugh about Cincinnati. How could you take him as a 10-point favorite? How could you take him as a 7-point favorite? It's a completely different mindset now. And the one thing I do like is, does Jacksonville have a great defense? Saxonville Jaguars, yes, they're going to be able to get off to Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's probably going to throw 2 interceptions in this football game, but you're not even asking Andy Dalton at this point to actually win the football game. The one thing you like if you're betting against the Jacksonville Jaguars is that's not a home run hitting team. What they want to do is move the football down the field, play good defense, lean on the defense, not in a sense, Gabe, to run away from Cincinnati. Cincinnati has enough firepower to stay in this football game, and Jacksonville is not a headlining team. I don't anticipate, a 21-0 lead in the first quarter, and they keep firing the football down the field. Jacksonville will be one of those teams, Gabe, even if it's in the fourth quarter, they're going to lean on their defense. If they're up 3 points, 6 points, 10 points, they're not going to press the issue and say, I'll lean on my defense to make a stop. I'll take the points here, 6.5, 6, 5.5. I think Cincinnati is going to be in this with a good chance to win this football game, but I would lean on the points here in this situation, Gabe.
Yeah, it comes down and I see, Andy Dalton this, Andy Dalton that. Yeah, like Blake Bortles is a great quarterback. Yeah. And to me, oftentimes line movement is interesting. I was talking about this with Lonzo Ball. Even in the Summer League, Donnie, Lonzo Ball got scratched in an NBA Summer League game, and the point spread swung like 7 points. And, the Lakers ended up covering the game anyways. And I was like, this is ridiculous. He's not worth 7 points, but to the public, he was. To the odds makers, evidently, he was. I think Leonard Fournette is worth more than a point to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Don't you? I don't see this. I mean, it changes the dynamic. Chris Ivory's decent. Yeldon's whatever. Ivory's okay. But it changes the dynamic. We're talking about one of the better running backs in the National Football League. And an interesting statistic about the Bengals, they were 2-10 against the spread the last 12 times that a running back rushed for 100 or more yards against them. I like my chances a little bit more now that Leonard Fournette's not one of those running backs, Donnie. To me, Leonard Fournette impacts the Jags like 3 points. I would have moved this. I thought the number was too high as it was, but when it was 6.5, and you've got now Leonard Fournette scratch just hours before the game as well. So right now, Donnie, the players in the room are going, what's going on with Fournette? Why is the locker empty? Where is he? What fucking happened? You got to be fucking kidding me. You're telling me we're 5-3 and this fucking idiot did this? And then it just sort of spreads. I think distractions are often overrated. This guy's a distraction, and that's a distraction. But this fucking is a distraction when your best fucking player isn't fucking in uniform an hour and a half before the game.
Yeah, I mean, you look at running backs. I get in this argument with a couple different people about, certain running backs here. When you're centered or your offense around a running back, it's a completely different situation. If Seattle deactivates one of their running backs, nobody gives a damn. If LeGarrette Blount on the Eagles, say what you want, he's having an okay year. If he's deactivated, you're not going to say, oh my goodness, I can't bet this team. Or let's look at the New England Patriots. They deactivate one of their running backs. Not the same thing as if you take out like a Kareem Hunt or if you take out a David Johnson from Arizona, you take out a Leonard Fournette. The whole offense, Le'Veon Bell, Pittsburgh, the whole offense is centered around that football player. Now you have to deviate by a backfield for committee. A lot of other teams, just to say Frank Gore's out for Indianapolis, doesn't matter. You have Marlon Mack right behind him, who's probably even better. When you take out the guy that you want to control the ground game with, I 100% agree with you there, Gabe. All
right, so let's jump in right now, Donnie, and start off the first game in the rotation, 4-5-1, 4-5-2, the Denver Broncos and the Philadelphia Eagles. Brock Osweiler will be the starting quarterback for Denver in this spot. I mentioned off the top of the program, Zach Ertz has been ruled inactive for this football game. This one's interesting, Donnie. The Eagles have been rolling this year. You had a lot of cappers that I talked to and a lot of breakdowns that I read this week are buying into the Denver Broncos to cover the number. I'm not in any hurry to be betting on Brock Osweiler in this spot. What's your take on this one? And it's an even 7 now.
Yeah, like Gabe, I'm on the same wavelength. The Zach Ertz injury late in the week on Thursday was always kind of, a misnomer, because anytime you hear an athlete, a skill position guy, outside of like a defensive tackle or an offensive tackle or whatever, when you have the hamstring there, it's always a serious injury. And again, it didn't happen on Monday. It didn't happen on Tuesday. It happened on Thursday. And NFL teams, Gabe, always get that extra precaution. When you have a bye week on deck, they're always extra cautious and say, you know what, sit this one out. You get a full 2.5 weeks to rest up before you play the next football game. But you're right. When you take a look at Denver, like this isn't the Denver where, Peyton Manning's hot. They're making Super Bowl runs. They're a really good offense. They're moving the football down the field. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, look, 4 of the last 5 games, Denver's looked absolutely awful, completely anemic on offense, but yet they still carry that moniker saying like, oh my God, that Denver defense is so good. All right, the Denver defense was so good. Why did the Giants go paste them? The Denver defense is so good. Why can't they lose to like the Chargers 21-0? Or even taking a look last week, you get beat by the Kansas City Chiefs. No slouch, going on the road. Offense turns it over a good 4 or 5 times in that instance there. But you're right. I mean, I'm looking at this and saying, which way am I supposed to look here with the Denver Broncos? It's not the old school Broncos, and they're not coming in on fire. And it's a must-win situation. It's a must-win for everybody in the NFL.
All right. And I see for some reason Tom Marino in the chat. Is Tom Marino, I don't know what happened. Did we just lose Donnie?
Yeah, no, I'm here. So for some reason, the last week, my camera's been flicking on and off during shows, so I'll just keep on pounding it back on.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It just popped up. But I see Tom Marino in the chat saying Zach Ertz is playing. He's not playing. Just for the record. Zach Ertz.
No,
Zach Ertz is not playing. I know Tom Marino. Tom Marino's never fucking wrong. So, I don't know. You are a big fucking he's a fake. I'm going to leave politics out of it, but I'm not surprised he's a big Trump fan. I'll put it that way. Tom Marino just makes shit up. It's like, Tom Marino, I know you like to disagree with everybody so fucking much, but, when somebody's fucking inactive, it means he's not playing.
Yeah. Yeah, when that card's handed into the NFL, Gabe, there's no, like, in Major League Baseball, hey, let me get the other guy and you're out.
Not playing.
Yeah.
He's playing right away. Yeah, he's playing. You're spreading fake news in the chat. He's not playing. He's inactive. Not playing.
Maybe he's trying to get a better line from some people betting out in the chat box there, Gabe. Tell them everybody's playing.
All right. I want to get that off my chest. I'm sorry, Shy Pig. Sorry. I'm not bashing Trump. Trump's all right. All right. He's crazy, but he's all right. Anyways, it just bothered me. I look up. I'm like, Zach Ertz is out. So he's like, if you're going to contradict us, at least fucking be right.
And yes, Ajayi's playing today. Yes. Although, Gabe, by the way, all week long, you say you get the whole week. You say, oh man, I don't know if Ajayi's going to go. Let me get this straight, Gabe. If you're a running back in the NFL and you can't understand like 10 plays to get in there as a running back, not a wideout, not a quarterback. I mean, come on, man. At least he was active. They're trying to play that coy, like, oh, maybe there's a chance that Ajayi won't play. Get out of here. He's definitely playing. Yeah,
Ajayi's going to get in here, and I like what Miami said. Oh, he only swings for the home run. That's what you guys brought him in for, to swing for the home run. All right.
I'm going to look forward to him going down the road. I don't want to hear this, back. You don't trade for Jay Ajayi and say backfield by committee where he's going to get 10 touches a game. He better be getting 15 plus carries and another 3 to 4 catches every single game after this bye week coming up, because otherwise, what was the point of even getting the guy into your arsenal there?
All right. So what are you doing with this one? You're a fan, so you're in that spot. I'm staying away from this game. And you know what? A couple of my buddies and my picks haven't been good enough, Donnie, for me to say absolutely fucking not. We're not putting him in the super contest. But yeah. I've got a piece of the Broncos +8 on a super contest team. I'm not overly excited about it, but I can live with it. I'm not, I'm not sure Philadelphia just fucking blows them out here. Denver do have pride, and they do have a good defense.
Yeah, I mean, Gabe, they're going to lean on their two. I mean, you're getting Shane Ray back last week. A lot of people missed out that this guy is a top-flight pass rusher that was out for, the first 7 games of the season, flashed against Kansas City, gets another week to get healthy, get his game legs under him. Him and Von Miller are going to be a problem out there. And then you combo that down with 2 really good cornerbacks, to go up against maybe an Aguilar or a Torrey Smith or a Alshon Jeffrey. And now you're taking Zach Ertz, that security blanket, over the middle. Trey Burton's going to play all right today in his absence there, but Ertz has been such a great playmaker over the past 2 to 3 years in catching balls, being open, making the catch in the red zone. That is going to hurt the Eagles. And the one thing you want to look at it from the Denver perspective here, you have Brock Osweiler back there, Gabe. So the one thing you're not going to do last week, like you did with Trevor Siemian, is just throw the ball all over the yard and just take, 5 interceptions, whatever it is. They're going to try to keep the game close, and I think they can because Denver's defense is good enough to do that. But the one thing I still have to harp back on is this Eagles football team is not the same team of the past 2, 3, 4 years. Like the quarterback there will get them points down the field. This is an Eagles football team that routinely scores into the 20s, a Denver offense that is putrid. Like what got better? Emmanuel Sanders is coming back. He's probably going to be on one leg today. What got better in the last 4 to 5 weeks? Okay, you sat Simeon and you went with Osweiler. That's if anything, it's probably a demotion and a worse quarterback coming in, even though how bad Simeon has been playing. I don't see it from the Eagles losing standpoint, but I'm never a big backer, Gabe, laying anything, 7, 7.5, or 8 points. I've seen it too many times, especially when defense travels in the NFL. Do I think the Eagles win this football game? Yes, but do I want to bet it? No, I do not.
Donnie, I've already placed 5 bets this morning, and I have no money left in one of my accounts because I got crazy when that Fournette news broke. I happened to be right in front of the computer, like any gambler should be, right, at that time.
That's correct, day. It's
one of those deals. Well, you're at the right place at the right time. I had a couple of guys in my chat. They're like, son of a bitch, fuck, they took it off. I'm already in. I'll share the 5 bets with you guys. And Denver, Philadelphia, not one of them. Neither is this next game. 4-5-3, 4-5-4 Rams, Giants. Big line movement in this right now. Bookmakers got 5.5 for the Rams. I see a penny 5.5. So pretty much 5.5. There's even some 6s out there right now. This is another one where I really don't trust either team here. But I got to tell you, the old gun to head on the fucking train on the way to the MetLife like I was the other night. I'm taking the home dog. I don't trust the Rams on the East Coast laying 6 points, Donnie. But I'm just saying, I'm not betting this game. I've already bet my games. I'm in. But I'm gonna fuck. I got a couple of bucks in you wager. I don't know if I can get 6. It's a lot of points to be laying with the Rams on the road here.
Yeah, 6 is a lot of points. The value's gone. Early in the week, I put that play in at the Rams -3. I believe I got it at -126, -127. I did pay a little bit of juice, but I like the 3 on that line. I like the fact that the Rams are coming off the bye, same way the New York Giants are. The one thing that if I'm backing the Giants in this situation, Gabe, I'm going to have my worst starting offensive line of the year out there against that Rams front 4, which isn't going to help very much. Yeah, you get Sterling Shepard back at, Sterling Shepard back at wide receiver for the New York Giants. Is that going to help a little bit? Evan Ingram has been really nice compliment there over the past couple weeks, trying to hold down the fort. Also, you got to look at from the other side. Olivier Vernon's going to sit this one out. You also suspended your top cornerback, who's not going to play in this game. And then you're without, Gabe, your 2 starting linebackers for the Giants. It's one of those teams, Gabe, where if this was a couple weeks ago, I completely agree with you there. I'm taking maybe a home dog with the Giants. I actually took the home dog in the Giants versus the Chargers a while back before every single one of their players got hurt in that football game. But when you're looking at a team at 1-6 at this point, you think the coach is going to get fired. Almost we know the coach is going to get fired. Probably Jerry Reese, the GM, is going to go as well. They're already in preservation mode with those players, saying if anybody like Weston Richburg, who's been out with the concussion for a month, if the Giants were 6-1, Richburg would be playing today. Justin Pugh's out, their best overall lineman. He probably would give it a go playing off the bye if they were a good football team. Self-preservation mode, a coach going out the door. Now you're suspending players. Same thing with DRC the week before. Something's completely amiss in that. I'm not looking at backing the Giants any way, shape, or form, but 6 is a little bit different than 3 points, especially being a home team. But if you're asking the Giants to go out here and win this football game, I just don't think they can do it.
I know, but nobody thought they could do it when they went into Denver on that Sunday night either, right?
Yeah, you're right. That's the NFL. Exactly.
It's the NFL, man.
Yep. If it was so easy, we'd all be millionaires. Yeah.
I love you. People we're not betting the box score from the last week's game, guys. Oh, did you see the Bengals last week against the Colts? They're not playing the fucking Colts, and they're not 10-point favorites this week. The NFL is a week-to-week motherfucking league, man. It drives me crazy, man, when people bring up the fucking past. Stop living in the past, man. All right. But you're right. You know what? I'd love the Giants here in this home dog spot. And I'm telling you, I was just there. I got a weird feeling that both teams are going to win in that stadium this week. And we should mention, too, weather's not a factor across the board anywhere for the most part today, Donnie, except here. Yeah, I don't know how heavy it's raining. Maybe if somebody's in the area, I'm assuming out of fucking everyone watching right now. We got a lot of viewers, and thanks for tuning in, guys. Give us a thumbs up. And remember, if you're going to bet, go to sportsbookreview.com and select a book that's right for you. But if somebody's in the Jersey and New York area right now, tell us, is it drizzling? Is it raining? Is it, what's going on with this? There's a lot of trends and a lot of stuff. Giants 6-1 straight up at home following a bye. yet that this Giants team isn't a typical Giants team. So, to me, it's Giants or pass, though. Yeah, it's Giants or pass, Donnie. That's my opinion.
That's 6 is a big number. I mean, you're right, Gabe. It's the NFL. I mean, they're at home. They're supposed to handle their business. Eli Manning, say what you want for him, with this banged up line and these terrible wide receivers. He's not doing the old Eli where I'm just going to give the game away by throwing interception after interception. So they've been hanging around. I just don't like how many players overall at key positions, Gabe, are injured for the New York Giants in this game. The Rams, I know they lost a safety, but they're coming in relatively healthy. That front four on turf today in the Meadowlands is really going to get after Eli Manning. I don't know who's going to stop Donald up the middle. And then you have that, Sean McVay. But you're right. You're in the situation, Gabe, when we talk situations with Cincinnati Bengals being a touchdown favorite as opposed to a dog. Now you're saying to the Los Angeles Rams here, you're supposed to win this game, and you're supposed to win this game handily. Let's see how they handle that today.
Al Hart is asking why I block him. He just wants to communicate with Donnie, Pete, and Big Man on campus. Respectfully, King Al. First off, King Al, I've never blocked you. I've never heard of you, and I don't give a fuck if you communicate with Loshak, Donnie, Big Man, or Kim Jong-un. All right.
Was that a DM or is that in the chat box here?
Don't flatter yourself, right? I blocked you. I never heard of you. I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't care. All right, next game. Next. Tampa Bay and New Orleans. Here's another one that I feel like it's a trap, Donnie. Yeah. Everyone's talking about, and listen, the Buccaneers are terrible. Dirk Cutter's criticizing the Buccaneers losing culture. You're a fucking loser coach that makes loser decisions. So, losing culture, you're a losing coach. You've been a shit coach everywhere. You're all right at Boise, whatever, big deal. Fucking, but nevertheless, I don't trust the Saints laying 7 here either. I have a feeling, Donnie, it's going to be one of those weird days. Every week has been a weird week in the NFL. I think it's one of these weird ones today. I think Tampa shows up and gives New Orleans all they can handle in a higher scoring game, although this didn't make my cut as a top best bet, but I don't trust the Saints here. 7-point favorites right now.
Yeah, when is this New Orleans defense going to show a little bit of a chink? I know they're playing a little bit better. This is one of those teams, Tampa Bay, that should be able to get after. The only thing that makes me a little bit nervous about this game is you're right, Gabe. Getting 7 points with a New Orleans team, can they move the football? Yes, but Tampa Bay should be able to attack this defense. Doug Martin's back there. You got the 2 good wide receivers. The only problem I have with this, with backing Tampa Bay, is something just doesn't seem right with Jameis Winston's arm, and then it's fired back. He's able to practice all week, and then you get those rumors coming out this morning. Well, it's not all the way back. Whenever you have a damaged throwing shoulder, it's going to hinder you there because you have the ultimate deep threat in Deshaun Jackson. Maybe he's wide open or has 2 steps, and Jameis Winston goes, you know what? I don't even think I can rocket this ball 55 yards downfield to get it to him. I'm going to take that dump off for an 8-yard gain. That's the only thing worrying me about. But also in this game earlier, Gabe, during the week, I was on another podcast when the line was at 50 for the over-under in this Tampa Bay game, now showing up at 54, 54.5 in some spots. And I still tend to agree with it. Even though his arm is a little bit dinged up, both of these teams have the weapons to expose the opposite team. I think you'll see a lot of points. And what I mean by that, Gabe, is when it all boils down to it, if there's a lot of points and teams aren't getting stops, I'm going to take the 7 points, right?
I can't disagree. I can't disagree in this spot. I like it. I like these dogs, man. I'm all about the dogs. All right.
It's hard to win in the NFL, Gabe, right? You're saying you're giving one professional team a full touchdown and that they can possibly win the game outright anyway. It's hard to pass up. You're right, man.
And, Jameis Winston dumping it off might not be a bad thing sometimes. Sometimes simpler is better, Donnie.
Yeah, hey, keep Drew Brees off the field. Forget about it. Go 8 plays instead of 2 plays, right?
All right, so now we're into the next game here, Cincinnati and Jacksonville, that we've already discussed. I see some people asking us about the under, and I know you guys are asking about different games and stuff. It's hard for me to look at the chat so much. I know Donnie keeps his eye on it, but we go in order, guys. If we start hopping around games, then we run out of time and it doesn't work out. Trust me, it's not our first rodeo. We go in order of the rotation, okay?
That's what I love, too, about the live chat box, Gabe, when so many people are in here. Usually you can keep tabs on it, and as soon as you say one thing, that damn chat is already 16, 17.
I know. Yeah. YouTube should really figure out how to slow it down a little bit, actually. All right, so, once again, I love Cincinnati. I think they can win the game outright. I think this game comes down to the wire, or Cincinnati wins convincingly. That's the way I think this goes. It's either a close game, and we cover the spread, or Cincinnati just shuts them down and gets a nice 10-point road win and shows, you know what, Jacksonville, you guys are cute, nice young team. We're better than you are still.
Yeah. No, I like Cincinnati. Give me the points with Cincinnati. I got a better number that's out there, but still, Chris showing 6. I mean, looks like the prevailing line's 5.5. So would you lose maybe half point or a full point?
That's ridiculous. Leonard Fournette's That's ridiculous that Leonard Fournette's not worth more than that, Donnie. It's fucking crazy.
Maybe people are just looking out there saying, oh, my God, Cincinnati, they stink so bad. Well, let's put it in perspective, Gabe. Cincinnati is 3-4, right?
Yeah.
Did I miss Jacksonville being 8-0? They're 4-3. They're not the greatest team that's ever been assembled out there. Come on.
I know. It's amazing. Blake Bortles is the quarterback.
Oh my God, that defense. Look at him, Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette's out. And again, they're not 8-0 rolling everybody.
Cincinnati's defense is good as well, guys. Okay? Cincinnati's defense is good as well. Think of everything that's gone wrong for Cincinnati so far this year, guys. They win this football game, they're 4-4, okay?
Yes.
With 8 games to go. It's a massive game for the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Bengals have been good on the road this year. All right. I'm really going to tell everyone to go fuck themselves after the Bengals win today, Donnie.
I'm going to join you. Hopefully, we'll be at the half cheering on a nice double-digit lead.
I don't care about what other people do. I just want to cash that plus 230 on the money line.
Yep.
All right. So it's interesting because I'm an idiot. I put the Bills in on the Super Contest on Thursday. So it means I have to put my other 4 picks in as well, Donnie.
Yes.
So this is how crazy this is. I put the Bengals in. I already like the Bengals without all this crap. I took the Colts plus 13 with Deshaun Watson playing. I was like, I don't give a shit if Deshaun Watson's playing. Give me 13 points with the Colts. Boom. I strike gold. Fuck. Deshaun's out. Suddenly it's 6. I got him at 13. But I'm like, Elliott's suspended. I think the Chiefs will beat the Cowboys because they can't stop the run, and now Elliott's back in. So it's amazing. Out of the 3 of the 5 games I played in the Super Contest, all of them affected by injuries. Pretty nuts.
No, you're right. That's what's so weird. Same thing. I mean, we see this all the time.
Somebody asked in the chat earlier, hey, Donnie or Gabe, do you guys bet NFL games earlier in the week? I generally don't, Donnie, because of this bullshit. But you do?
I do. Like the Rams game, I had that out, on Wednesday or Thursday. Some games that are looking to cross that line, or where you say you have a number that's fine, you think it'll be gone. But you're right. Usually the NFL doesn't play these tricks as often as like college football, where you're literally showing up. You're looking live in Miami, and by the way, 6 starters have been suspended for the game. You're like, oh my God. Like, usually you don't see these Leonard Fournette ones. Zach Ertz, you could see that coming down the line. But typically the NFL is not about like, I'm going to surprise you, because there's way too many beat writers and way too many public information in the NFL.
By Friday morning, normally By Thursday, exactly. From who's practice and stuff.
See the practice reports, yep, sure.
The worst league is the NBA, because the NBA does not release its lineups until like 20 minutes before the game. And, NBA for DraftKings, NBA betting, there's always late fucking scratches in the NBA. So be careful if you're betting NBA basketball earlier in the day. College football, you got to be careful. But I'm more of a last-second bettor just because I'm a degenerate. I'm always rolling money over and stuff like that. So what do you make of this game now with Tom Savage laying 6 points against Indianapolis?
To be honest with you, Gabe, I don't want any part of this football game. We joked about it all week long, me and the big man on the right side of campus. Like, where is your angles in this game? You look at Houston, like the culture shock of like, my goodness, we have a great quarterback. All right, so we lost in Seattle. We should have won, but man, we got Deshaun Watson. We can still win this division and run away with it. And then he goes down, and then the team in the locker room goes, damn, we just went back to Tom Savage's one. And then you look at it from Indianapolis' standpoint. Are they all fired up coming in here with the football team that they have? Like, they're done for the season as well. You know what's funny? Even though you have 6 point or 6.5, wherever you're getting that spread at, I actually would still lean towards Houston, because even though it's such a devastating injury, I don't trust the Colts out there overall as a defense. I think Vontae Davis is going to be out for this football game as well. You still have good wide receivers. You can lean on Lamar Miller and push around that Indianapolis team. Do I want to weigh in on this game? Did I wager on this game? Do I want to? No. But I actually would see still betting Houston. I think there's still a little bit of value just because it's the Colts on the road and they're done.
Yeah, this is a tricky game. It is. And, Tom Savage, he only got an opportunity to play a half of football, and the Jacksonville Jaguars were all over him, Donnie. You remember that?
You're right. Take a look at that. We laughed at Savage. Like, it wasn't really his fault in that football game. He was getting pegged every play. Now you say, well, pick me out a defense that I should go against that'll help me, be comfortable in the pocket. You got one today in the Colts.
Exactly. And the Colts have to be a little bit worn out. But at the same point in time, they're sort of playing with house money. Brissett can say, hey, I'm the quarterback for the rest of the year. Let's just go out here and let me try to earn some money in the NFL and put some numbers up right now and play without any pressure. So it goes both ways. I got to be honest with you. Here's another 6-point under home favorite. I don't trust. I'm not going to bet on the Colts. I've got the Colts plus 13 in the super contest, so I've got to grin and bear it and hope for the best in this game. All right, people are asking about my best props. We'll give it in the best bets later in the show. But I do have a prop. I'm not forcing the props. The props get sharper as the year goes on. And the motherfucking cocksuckers, the sports books, they made all the long field goal props like 45.5 yards now, guys. It's a big difference, man, between 43.5 and 45.
They're getting on you, Gabe. They're getting to you, man. That's too easy every week, man. And you're covering the damn thing like 4 minutes into the game.
I know. So they're like, screw it. They really are getting sick of it. And another thing is today, weather's not really a factor anywhere. It's raining in Carolina and it's raining at the Meadowlands or in MetLife. So other than that, weather, it's not even windy anywhere really today. That's why we didn't do a weather check. There's no weather, guys. The weather's fucking fine everywhere. Drizzle at MetLife and raining a bit in Carolina. And Ace Farmer's going to the game there, he says. But a prop that I do have, guys, and Donnie, Drew Brees over 25.5 completions. He's gone over 25.5 completions in 4 of the Saints' 7 games. Last week, he did 23 against the Bears. He was 23 at 28. Normally, he throws the ball a little bit more than that, but the Bears bled the clock a little bit last week. I do think Tampa's going to be able to score, Donnie. I think we're looking at, one of these 30-27 style games. It's the highest total on the board for a reason. I think that Tampa will be able to score, and we know that Tampa's secondary gets carved up on a weekly basis. I think Drew Brees completes over 25.5 passes today. Like I said, he's gone over this number 4 of the 7 times. The 2 times that he didn't, he was at like 23 and 24. He was right there, and they were winning games and stuff. I think, and like I said earlier, I think Tampa's going to trade points with them today. We're talking about division rivals, guys, all right? I think they're going to go back and forth and trade some points. Therefore, I think Drew Brees is going to have to throw the football, Donnie. I like over 25.5 completions with Drew Brees.
No, I think they'll open up both ways. I mean, we saw, look, New Orleans outside of the dome, Gabe, a little bit different scenario. Whenever you get Drew Brees in the dome, he's going to light it up. It's very rare that he throws for under 275 yards being at home. You can almost pencil in a 300-yard performance here. And what did we see a couple weeks ago? Hey, Detroit's got a pretty good defense. Did you see how that game went with Detroit and New Orleans? I'm not saying it's going to be on that latitude where it's just, shoot out back and forth. But whenever you have 2 gunslingers on both sides of the football, say what you want about Jameis Winston, he's going to be able to elude the pass rush, and they have weapons that can get downfield. As long as his shoulder holds up, Gabe, I agree. Should be points in the dome today. Yeah,
but with that being stated, of course, as we say all this, Donnie, 4 of the last 5 games in the series have gone under the number. except the last one. Yeah. The last one was 31-24 New Orleans. This was Christmas Eve last year, December 24th. 31-24 New Orleans. It's exactly the type of game I'm expecting today, actually, except maybe a little closer, 31-27.
Yep. No, I could say it. I gave out the over 50 early in the week, and I think a lot of people, even Sharps, public, whoever's agreeing with me, going over 54 in this one.
Ooh,
I do see it's hard to be in the dome, Gabe, and say, you know what, I'm going to take an under with Drew Brees. I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm passing. I'm going to pass on the total here, but that's one of my props, guys. And the next prop I have is in this football game, Baltimore and Tennessee. This is another one, Donnie, in which the Tennessee Titans were -3.5 basically all week. And then earlier this morning, they were 3.5. And then right around the news of Zach Ertz being out and Fournette being out, we got news that Flacco was in. So about 10 o'clock this morning or so, Flacco announced that Flacco's going to play. The line came down 0.5 point. I'm not so sure Joe Flacco's worth 0.5 point. In fact, Joe Flacco's fucking terrible. Is Joe Flacco better than Ryan Mallett at this point in time? I'm not so sure he is. I think he might be worse. Joe Flacco's not healthy. They keep rolling him out here, Donnie. They rolled him out. He didn't get a training camp. They rolled him out earlier in the year. The guy had a bad back. Now he got fucking killed last week in the head. They're rolling him out here, because he makes money. And it's not like Flacco being out there saves them or anything, Donnie. In the QBR rating, the definitive QBR, ranking, so to speak, he's ranked 31st. Only Deshaun Kaiser has a worse QBR rating than Joe Flacco does. Donnie, they average 159 yards a game passing. Now, it seems that I bet against Baltimore every fucking week, and I fucking lose betting against them every week. So I looked it up. I'm 2 and I've only won twice. I didn't touch the game once. I'm 2 and 4 in Ravens games. I've won twice. I've lost 4 times. They're a hard team to read. Every time I think there's no way in hell they're going to win, they win. And today I don't think they're going to win. I think Tennessee steps up and gets it done. Corey Davis returns for the Tennessee Titans today. That's just another added weapon that Mariota will have in this football game. I like Tennessee. I bet Tennessee on the money line earlier this morning, Donnie. I like Tennessee to win this game.
Yeah, not much respect for Tennessee out there. I mean, you're talking about a team coming off a bye, and if you wanted to pose it and say, well, I don't really like the way Tennessee is playing, Tennessee's built on a mobile quarterback who now had a bye week to rest up that hamstring. If you don't think you're going to run a little read option, he's going to roll out of the pocket and use his legs a lot more to move the sticks, you'd be crazy. The one thing, if you are betting from a Baltimore perspective here, you know, they do have their wide receivers back. They're coming in a little bit more healthy, but I preface that by saying a little bit more healthy. We just watched a football game where one of the hardest things to do, and you have to have your mind completely into it to play quarterback. Joe Flacco looked like he almost died on the football field with a head injury. And I've seen it so many times, Gabe. It takes you a week, 2-3 weeks to get your bearings back where you're 100% focused out there. That wasn't a light concussion where somebody, hit him on the head with their, as a glancing blow. He got absolutely rocked in that football game. Now he's going to come back because football players are tough. It's what they do. If you tell them, hey, I don't feel that good, but I can play, they'll put you right back in the game. He's going to do that. But you're right about him not playing well. Is he better than Mallet? I think he's better than Mallet. I think they're going to lean on the running game. I see a lower scoring game. I don't per se love a side in this one, but if you're going to give me Tennessee and -3 at home or less, I'm going to lean on that situation. But I always hasten, man. I mean, Flacco got crushed in that last game. Now he's going back out. So you take 2 things for granted in this. He's in the pocket. Is he going to step up, Gabe? When that blitz is coming down, he's going to take one right in the chops. How about if he rolls out on a 3rd and 3 and it's going to be real close if he can get that first down? Does he duck out a yard short or does he try to go for that first down again? That's going to be a major key in this one. But you're right. I lean on the home team here, -3 coming off a bye. The quarterback is built for that Tennessee offense to be running around in the pocket, making plays. Mariota's going to be much more healthy in this one. I think they can get the job done. Donnie,
RightSide kicking it with us. I think we got a little audio issue there, Donnie. Maybe it'll pass.
Can you hear me all right, or am I coming in?
There we go. Yeah, we just sort of got that robot static thing for a second. But, Google Hangouts has a
Google Hangouts, man. Right? Where it's at, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice clear shots today, though. You're looking good, Donnie.
Appreciate it, man.
Our cameras, I think we probably have the same camera. The Zach Jones approved Logitech, right?
Yeah, I do have a Logitech. Yes, the 4K. I do have that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm looking too. My camera's too clear. I look so. I got to get some sun, man.
I got to distort the camera a little bit. Yeah, I have to go with a little Morency action in there, and just get off camera completely.
I know. I like my old webcam camera. I had a nice orange hue to it. I got used to it. And creating some weird orange, I look like a Kardashian or something. But you know what? My bad. When I was talking about a prop, we actually jumped over that Carolina and Atlanta game. Seeing some line movement here right now, Donnie's up to 3 at some spots right now. 2.5 still.
Right. Yeah.
But up to 3 at some spots. I've already pulled the trigger. I got the Atlanta Falcons on the money line, -140 earlier in the morning. And here's another situation. We talk about it. Listen, I'm not saying that Kelvin Benjamin is Odell Beckham. I'm not saying that Kelvin Benjamin is Jerry motherfucking Rice. But what I'm saying is Kelvin Benjamin was their #1 wide receiver. Kelvin Benjamin attracted the other team's #1 cornerback. Kelvin Benjamin is a 6'5" target that happened to be Cam Newton's best motherfucking friend on the football team. They traded a 3rd and a 7th. They got a 3rd and a 7th back for him. What the hell does that do for anyone in the room right now, Donnie? I said this earlier in the morning. NFL players don't give a shit about anyone but themselves. The average career in the NFL is 3 years. So it's not like players in the room are like, oh, great, we're building for the future. We got a 3rd-round pick. No, we're one less guy right now. We're already without Greg Olsen. We're one less guy right now. And, oh, great, we got a 3rd-round draft pick, so they're just going to draft someone and try to take my job from me. I don't think the morale is very high around the Carolina Panthers right now. Cam Newton hasn't hidden his displeasure with this deal. And you don't even have Greg Olsen. Devin Funchess is going to get eaten up right now by Truafont. Truafont's a damn good cornerback. Now he's going to have Funchess. Suddenly, you got Curtis Samuel. He's 20 years old. He can't even get into a fucking bar. And he should still be in college. He's out there right now. To me, the Carolina Panthers, this is another sort of move that I think that upsets the room and puts them in a tough spot, especially without Greg Olsen in the lineup. And it's not like Christian McCaffrey's been killing it and lighting it up either right now, Donnie. And the Falcons have been good on the road. I like the Falcons in this spot.
It's interesting if you're going to take a look at the Falcons. If it goes to 3 or stays at 3, I actually would be leaning towards taking Carolina just because I like to lean on defense. But you're right. The one thing that you look at from Kelvin Benjamin, it's not so much you're right that he's the greatest wide receiver in the world. Case in point last week versus Tampa Bay, a third down, I believe 15 or third down and 10 midway through the third quarter. Cam Newton drops back, just throws it up in the air. He's 6'5", whatever, goes up, touchdown. They win the football game on plays like that. Now that's no longer there. Devin Funchess is like half the wide receiver to me that Kelvin Benjamin was. And I read the paper in the clippings down there saying, all right, well, we got rid of Kelvin Benjamin because Curtis Samuel's speed, we got to get him on the field. The guy has been invisible for 8 weeks. So now you're saying, okay, rookie, step into there into a number 1 role and let's see how you really get after it. And it's not like you're Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers a few years ago where it's D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart were running read option. Nobody can stop us on the ground with the best tight end in football on play action over the middle. You have none of that. So now you're saying, all right, Atlanta's coming to town. Can your defense play well and hold up outside against Atlanta? I think they can. But Atlanta's going to put a lot of pressure on you to score points on offense. And it's not like Carolina, regardless of who they play, are just going to move the football up and down the field. Where are their points coming from right now?
Yeah, and Cam Newton isn't in I want to run people over mode right now.
No, he's not. You're right.
You know, like it's not like, oh, I'm going to take this game over. I'm killing it. It's not like, okay, we don't need Benjamin because fucking Funchess is getting 13 catches a week. And another thing is, I talked about this with Michael Thomas. Mike, it's different when you're the number 2 wide receiver. And I think people have overrated Funchess as it is already. But he's a decent number 2, number 3 caliber guy. Suddenly you're sliding Funchess into the number 1 role. And now he's going to get eaten up. And now he's gone. Now Cam Newton's running around looking for someone to throw to. And a great point by you, Donnie, as well, that Cam Newton's balls are often high as well. Cam Newton's a tall guy. He's always sailing balls high in the air. Kelvin Benjamin could go up there and get him for him. And like I said, it doesn't matter whether Benjamin was great or not. That was his guy. You know, so you've upset your quarterback. You don't have a 6'5" target. You don't have Greg Olsen. Like you said, McCaffrey's done nothing special. He's not a bust. He looks like maybe a Danny Woodhead type. He hasn't really done anything special. I don't see, and not to mention, it's not like I think fucking Mike Shula is going to come up with some brilliant game plan here. I think the Falcons get back on track. I think they stopped the bleeding with that win in the rain last week. They're playing in the South right now, close to home. I think they get it done. Yeah,
it should be an interesting. I want to see how Carolina, Atlanta's going to score. Atlanta had a tough game last week. We all seen, Gabe, you saw it firsthand. Jets pretty damn good football team at home. In the pouring rain, they were able to beat the Jets. That's a nice victory. Going home a little bit different there. Both these teams know each other from a, being an interdivision perspective, but I don't know what I'm getting out of Carolina right now. It's hard to bet a locker room where they can say whatever they want, but when you're trading, big pieces, and again, Gabe, we're not talking about a 1-7 football team. We're talking about a team trying to make a run to the playoffs, and you telling your quarterback, who we all know lives on the edge emotionally, hey, I'm going to take away your best wide receiver, and here, take this rookie out here who's 5'11", who's going to run around and run fast. I don't know what they're going to do today, Gabe.
And you know what? Carolina, Donnie, have not had good success stringing wins together. They won 2 in a row earlier in the year against bad teams, but they didn't cover. Put it this way. They're 1-4 against the spread, Donnie, coming off a win, an ATS win. Yeah. So, like, Carolina, what are Carolina known for, Donnie? Inconsistency, right? They're perplexing. Remember we talked about it? Remember you and I talking about after the New England and Detroit game going, wow, it looks like they're back, Donnie. Looks like they're back. And then we saw Cam Newton floating balls against your Eagles. And then they were fucking terrible against the Bears. And then they were pretty good against the Bucs. Like, they're a hit or miss entity, Carolina, coming off a win 1-4. And here's another interesting one, too. Atlanta actually very good on the road. 9-4 against the spread. 9-4 against the spread last 13 road games. And very impressively this year, 3-1 straight up, Donnie, on the road. They've only won 1 home game this year, the Atlanta Falcons. Getting up to 3 is a little treacherous, laying 3 on the road. I got the Falcons at minus 140 earlier this morning. I like the Falcons in this game. All right. So.
Yeah, Gabe, if you want to look at a blueprint for this game too, let's go back a couple weeks. What was it? Maybe game 3, game 4 when New Orleans came in and played Carolina. I mean, that's a similar type team that you're going to look from Atlanta. They're going to be able to push the pace and score points. Can, Carolina keep up with that? That's what you're going to find out today.
We got a lighter board today, Donnie, because we're already into the 4 o'clock game. So I don't know. Why don't we get to our best bets then a little earlier right now so people can click them. They can tail them. They can fade them. They can do whatever they want with them. Let's start
Gabe,
off.
I'm gonna go. I have one. We'll go for one at 4 o'clock too when we come on at the half here when we preview a little bit of those games. 457, 458. Gabe, going to keep it simple. I already gave out my players early this morning. Cincinnati, a little bit better number that's hovering out there, but 5.5 still like it as well. We're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals here. I know, and oh my God, Jacksonville Jaguars. That front four is going to get after it. They're going to sack them. They're going to get do whatever they want to do. As long as Andy Dalton doesn't throw 2 pick sixes in this football game, Cincinnati's going to hang around in this football game long enough to possibly win it here. You take Leonard Fournette out of the equation. I don't want to hear that, oh my God, Chris Ivory's just as good, and they still have TJ Yeldon. He's the hammer in that backfield that can close out football games. Anybody watch that Pittsburgh Steelers game on the road? When you needed runs, who gave it to you? It was Leonard Fournette. He's no longer in there. You're going to put a little bit more pressure on Blake Bortles, which is exactly as you want a defense as the Cincinnati Bengals to try to come up and stop that. I like the points in this situation. I'm not shocked or surprised if Cincinnati wins this game. I'm going to lean on the points here. I'll take that as my 1 o'clock best bet today.
Andy Dalton struggled out of the gate. He threw 2 touchdowns and 4 picks in the first 3 weeks. Since then, Donnie, 9 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions.
Yep, and you saw the deactivation of Jeremy Hill, so we're getting what we want, Gabe. Give Mixon the football and let everything else rotate around it. I love it.
Yeah, so, Cincinnati's given up 19 points per game. Jacksonville are averaging 26 points per game. It's a little skewed. They've had some special teams points and defensive scores along the way. Yet, nevertheless, to me, these teams are very evenly matched. And I'm not even sure Jacksonville are better than Cincinnati. Just because their record is 4-3 and Cincinnati's 3-4 doesn't actually mean they're a better football team. They play in a weaker division. Jacksonville, it's absolutely too ambitious right now to be asking Jacksonville to cover by this many points, especially without their best fucking football player. Cincinnati's going to win this football game outright. I'm with Donnie RightSide on this. It's one of my best bets. I loaded my account on this. I'm on the Cincinnati Bengals early in the morning with 6.5. I bought it up to 7. I got the Bengals plus 230 on the money line. I played the aforementioned Atlanta Falcons at minus 140 on the money line when it was minus 2 earlier this morning. I'm betting against Flacco and the Ravens. I'm taking Tennessee. I don't like being on Mike Mularkey against Harbaugh. I know I'm going in. I'm bringing a fucking fork to a gunfight, not even a knife. I'm bringing a fork to a gunfight on this one. But I think Tennessee's talent is just too much for Baltimore. Harbaugh can get it done against the Matt Moores of the world and shit. He can take advantage of these, the really bad teams. But I don't think he can. I think Mariota will do enough. Mariota's mobility and their talent on the offensive side of the football will be enough to outscore Baltimore in an ugly football game. But my best bet of the day, the one I put the most money on, is the Cincinnati Bengals plus the points. Cincinnati Bengals money line. I went fucking same amount on both points and money line. Played Titans money line, Falcons money line. Drew Brees over 25.5 completions, and Alex Collins, running back of the Baltimore Ravens, over under 62.5 yards. Baltimore can't throw the football. They're going to want to keep Tennessee's offense off the field. It's going to be a heavy dose of Alex Collins, 113 yards last week. I expect them to get over 62.5 yards. Those are my best 5 early morning bets of the morning, Donnie.
Yeah, peg them in there. See, look, we did it now 15 minutes early. So, everybody's probably going to dip out on us like they did last week. But, hey, we're trying to get you the money here. That's what the goal of the show is, right?
Yeah, we'll see if there's a big
we got to do the last 15. We used to give it out 12:59. That was always hilarious.
I know. That's true. I like that, though, that Sports Capper says it's the wrong side because he knows.
Always the right. Yes, the best part. The thing I like about, when you give out, an underdog in Cincinnati, nobody likes to bet Cincinnati. And, Jacksonville, all of a sudden, are world beaters there. Jacksonville technically is laying 6 in this one. So you always get, Jacksonville's going to win that. That's not even what we're asking today. I don't care if they win. Win by 3, 20-17. I'll walk right to the bank.
Yeah, no, exactly. And, yeah, that's it, Walter Trotter. I'm in on that Alex Collins prop, 62.5. 62.5. As far as long field goal props, guys, as I stated, I love my long field goal props, and I'm killing it this year with that. But I can't force it. It's 45.5 everywhere right now. But with that being stated, let's push it a little bit. Let's take a long field goal prop in the Justin Tucker game, the Titans and the Ravens. And I like the long field goal prop. I think you could take a look at it in the I think you could take a look at it in that Tampa-New Orleans game because it's in a dome and there's going to be points scored and opportunities. And I think that Dallas game later in the day, that Buckner kid never misses. I'm not a big Nugent guy. I guess Bailey's hurt, but that Buckner kid, whatever the fuck his name is, on the Chiefs, pretty good.
Buckner, man, he's been to me. You're right, man. He has a big leg, too. And that down in the dome, just seems like every time you watch a Dallas Cowboys game, it's a shame that Bailey's not in because they flow from 52, 53, 54 pretty easily in that dome down there.
All right. What's that, Kobe? Somebody's saying I have Andy Dalton's dick in my mouth. Yeah, that's good. It's too early for me in the morning. No, I'm not. That's not a bootable offense.
Yeah, we like to. That's I call that constructive criticism.
That's fine. I'll take that one. I'm not booting anyone on that. I'll live with that. I think it's false. In fact, I'm known for hating Andy Dalton more than fucking anybody.
You are the ultimate Andy Dalton. Hey, see, that shows, Gabe, that you don't shut teams off. Like, you still give teams on a week-to-week basis a chance. Like, there's other people on the show that just give out, every single week the New York Yankees or the Philadelphia Eagles, but we won't mention them by name. But, we don't want to be homerish over here. Yeah. All right. So,
just for the record, too, if some of you are wondering if I'm wearing a Florida T-shirt, it's Florida Atlantic.
It's proper to wear that shirt today. I mean, Lane, you want to talk? We need to get Lane Kiffin on some of these shows and talk about some sports gambling because he obviously knows what the deal is.
Yeah, I like the fact that Lane Kiffin hashtag kept you watching after he fucked around with a point spread.
Okay, never in my life. Even though this is a Sunday football show, let's say it's 2:40 on the clock. You have no timeouts for the other team. You're at the 43-yard line, and somehow you ended up taking a safety, which again was the completely wrong thing to do. I don't want to hear like if there was 3 seconds to go in the Gabe, of course you don't want to get a block punt for a touchdown, so you run and take the safety. You still had to kick it off regardless. I would have loved to have seen that re-kick there where the kid goes down at the 50-yard line, and then you would have had Marshall with a chance to throw a Hail Mary to beat them outright. I would have loved to have seen it.
All right, Donnie. So let's take a look at some of the late games here. Arizona Cardinals and the San Francisco 49ers. My boy, the Raging Redhead, Cam Stewart, he called it earlier in the week. He says San Francisco wins for the first time this year. And I have a hard time saying no to this. It's obviously, this isn't the best bet of the week, but there's only 3 games at 4 o'clock, 2 games at 4:05, and then the 4:25, the Chiefs and the Cowboys. Cardinals and 49ers. Cardinals are beaten down right now, Donnie. They're beaten down, but it's a winnable game for them. But you got San Francisco, who took these guys to overtime, earlier in the season this year. And these two teams have always played close. Good, bad, indifferent. These two teams have always played close for one reason or another. I don't think San Francisco is going to go 0-16. I mean, only 2 teams in NFL history have gone 0-16, right? So I don't think they're going to go, or Tampa went 0-14 and then 0-16. So generally, teams going to win a fucking game eventually. This is a winnable game for San Francisco, isn't it?
Here's the problem, Gabe. If you watch, again, we always talk about being a week-to-week league in the NFL. I want to talk about C.J. Beathard from a perspective. He's a rookie quarterback that has no idea what he's doing out there. Now you don't have Hoyer to come in. What you'd even like better if you're a 49ers fan, if Beathard played in this football game and you still had Hoyer, even though you got Garoppolo, because if things got bad and he plays as awful as he's been, Brian Hoyer coming in the second half when it's a close ball game, you might actually win that game outright. Now you're going to C.J. Beathard, and you have nothing behind him. You're not throwing Jimmy Garoppolo in that game after knowing, he might be your future and you're already banged up. And let's just talk about if you watched the Philadelphia Eagles 49ers game last week. That team was not only embarrassed in that game, they were injured embarrassed. You have Solomon Thomas not going to suit up today. They're probably going to go with Reuben Foster. Aaron Lynch is going to be out. Pierre Garçon was DL'd for the rest of the year. Jimmy Ward broke his arm. Joe Staley's probably not going to play in this football game. What is the point if you're the 49ers? And then take a look at C.J. Beathard, still the young quarterback. How do you think his psyche feels? Goes, you know what? They know I'm not the future. They gave me, a 1 or 2 game trial to see what I can do. And I was so bad they had to go out and trade for a quarterback next year. And you know what? They don't even want this quarterback to play yet because of how bad we are on the offensive line and the offensive weapons. They're just going to throw me out there as a sacrificial lamb that basically say, I hope you don't get killed and you can carry us through a week or two till Garoppolo can take over at quarterback. It's a bad situation for San Francisco. Do I like the Cardinals? I think they stink. But overall, where are the points coming from for the San Francisco 49ers on offense? Are they going to say, I'm going to run Carlos Hyde 45 times in this football game? Beathard's going to give you nothing. He has no weapons. He's not even going to be able to protect himself with that offensive line line. The one thing you can lean on with Arizona, they have a good secondary, so it's going to be hard just to get first downs to the 49ers. Is Stanton a good quarterback for Arizona? No, but at least they're coming off the bye somewhat healthy and refreshed coming into this one. The Niners are so bad and so beat up and running a rookie quarterback out there, I can't trust them. If they're getting 7 points, I might, but Beathard is so bad, I don't know if 49ers can score in this game.
Yeah, and, said they are 4-4 against the spread. Arizona comes in a money-burning 1-6 against the spread.
Yeah, yeah.
But Arizona's 3-4, so they win the game to get to 4-4. Mm-hmm. And push comes to shove, I would take Arizona too. I don't trust San Francisco in this spot. But
I mean, if Garoppolo was starting, you get that little bump where the team gets excited again. But your only wide receiver to me was Garcon, and he checked out. And again, if you're going to be down 3 or 4 offensive linemen in this game, they're just going to feast on it.
You sound very convincing to fucking hammer Arizona here, but then we got Arizona on the other side of the equation, right?
No, you're right. I mean, Arizona's not a good football team.
Donnie,
I'm one of the biggest beaters of Arizona.
You're convincing me. I just listened to you, and I'm like, damn, I'm betting Arizona.
Yeah. I mean, plus, remember, just to let the cat out of the bag. When we come on at 4 o'clock, I'm going to be giving that play out as my play for 4 o'clock. So if you guys want to hit that right now, but I already gave that play out a little bit early in the week, and the line hasn't moved that much. Stanton stinks, but at least he's a veteran. He's been there before. They were able to game plan for a week, coming off of the bye. They're going to be rested and ready. Are they a good football team? No, but how can you bet the 49ers when everybody is out for that football team and the quarterback is a rookie and that quarterback absolutely stinks?
All right, Donnie, we got some line movement right now in the Redskin game. I'm seeing some 9s pop up on the board. And I got to tell you, this is I'm Johnny Contrarian this week. We'll break down these games and I'll have some props for these games as well.
Yep, sure.
But I think there'll be some points put up on the board in this game, even though it's raining out there, drizzling, whatever. I think both teams will be able to move the football. And Washington have its flaws, but once again, Donnie, they're only 3-4. They're not a 1-6 football team. They haven't pitched any tent up. They're going to just keep pitching and chucking the ball down the field. And Seattle haven't shown an ability to me to blow anybody out.
You know what's interesting about this game? Looking at that over-under is 45. You sort of want to lean on the over, but the problem I'm having here is I need to see the inactive report because I need to see at least some of those offensive linemen, Gabe, coming back for the Washington Redskins. I don't know if Jamison Crowder is going to give it a go, so maybe Terrell Pryor comes off the scrap heap or whatever he's making, $10 million a year, and actually shows up and plays football. I think Doxson and Pryor, if he plays, and then maybe, I guess it will be Ryan Grant, maybe that third option out there. Because let's keep this in mind, Gabe. Earl Thomas played that entire game last week, right up to he hurt his hamstring on that long touchdown catch and run by DeAndre Hopkins. He's the best safety in football, and they got lit up for over 400 yards in the air. Washington's going to be able to throw the football around here. They're not going to, Rob Kelly's going to be damaged. You're going to have Thompson out of the backfield. I see a lot of points in this game, but you're right. We all say the same thing, like, you want Cincinnati at home. They're getting, 9 points in this game? Seattle doesn't really play that favorite of that over 7 points very well at home.
No, they haven't. We've seen they've been in dogfights to win on a weekly basis for the most part at home, except the injury report is not pretty right now, and it's just clearing right now with the Redskins. So, Jamison Crowder out, Jordan Reed out, Niles Paul out.
Yep.
Josh Doxson and Terrell Pryor will be the starting wide receivers. That's a tough spot going in up there against those guys. But we've seen teams go into Seattle and have success, Donnie. Moving the football.
No, you haven't. Say what you want about Kirk Cousins. He's going to stand back there. Maybe he doesn't play as well in big games or on the road, but he is going to be slinging the football today. I just think that over-under, even if it is rainy. I mean, Seattle plays in the rain all year long. I mean, I don't really think that would be a hindrance. I do see, the Seattle Seahawks putting up some points. But again, Gabe, it comes down to you ain't asking them to win by 3 points or a field goal like they did last week. You got to cover damn near double digits, and they haven't done that well outside of the Indianapolis games where you're completely overmatched. The Redskins won't be completely overmatched in this game. Do I think Seattle's going to win? Yes, but I'm not interested in laying 9 points with the Seattle Seahawks right now.
All right, Donnie. So we're a minute away from kickoff here. A minute away from kickoff. I'm fired up. I think we're going to do well today. Let's get this Bengals fucking bet home, man. And we'll be back at halftime, me and Donnie. And I'm going to dig in on the props for these late games. Little bit concerned right now about this Redskins thing. Yet at the same point in time, 9 points, a lot of points for Seattle. We'll crunch some numbers during the half here. Me and Donnie will be back at halftime. So, Donnie, your best bet, Cincinnati Bengals out of the gate here.
Yep, we're going Cincinnati Bengals. We'll take the prevailing line there, plus 5.5, and lean on that. I think it's going to be a slug-out type of ball game. I think Cincinnati's going to do just enough to hang around and possibly win at the end. I'll take it.
All right, guys. So as I mentioned, me and Donnie are on the same side. Cincinnati Bengals plus the points. I'm on the Cincinnati Bengals money line. I'm on the Tennessee Titans money line. Atlanta Falcons money line. And props, Alex Collins over. Alex Collins over 62.5. And Drew Brees over 25.5. We'll be back at the half with our best bets for the halftime and our leans for the 4 o'clock games with me and Donnie. May the winners be yours. Donnie, may the winners be all of yours out there. Let's fucking beat the book. We'll see you guys at the half. Let's do this thing. May the winners be yours. Other than that, you're on your own. Later.